11 new pickup trucks that you will regret buying in 2026 and 2027. If you've driven past a truck dealership lately, you probably noticed something weird. Rows and rows of brand new trucks just sitting there. Nobody's buying them. I've been digging into why, and honestly, some of these reasons are wild. Let's get into it. Number 11. Toyota Tundra. Look, Toyota's whole thing, their whole reputation, is built on one word: reliable. That's it. That's the brand. You buy a Toyota because it just doesn't break. My uncle had a Tacoma that ran forever, no joke. But this new Tundra generation? They ditched the V8 that everybody trusted and swapped in this twin-turbo V6 instead. And it has not gone well. The 2022 and 2023 models got hit with actual recalls for engine failures. Turns out there was leftover machining debris sitting inside the engines from the factory, and that debris was getting into the main bearings and causing engines to just seize up while driving at highway speed. That's not a take it to the shop when you get a chance problem. That's dangerous. And here's the thing that stings the most. People paid extra for a Toyota specifically because they trusted it wouldn't do this. Toyota's expanded the recall since then, but the damage to how people see this truck, already done. My honest take, wait this one out. Let Toyota prove it's actually fixed before you hand over your money. Number 10. Jeep Gladiator. And honestly, I get why people wanted this one so bad when it came out. Off-road capability plus a truck bed? Sounds perfect on paper. But here's the problem. Most people aren't rock crawling every weekend. Most people are just driving to work. And for daily driving, the Gladiator kind of falls apart. Rough ride, loud on the highway, gas mileage isn't great for a midsize truck. And once you start optioning up a Rubicon trim, you're pushing past 60 grand, at which point, why wouldn't you just get a bigger, more comfortable full-size truck instead? Sales have been shaky. There was a rough 2023, a bit of a bounce back after, but then in the first few months of 2026, Jeep only moved just over 10,000 of these. Inventory's piling up. Some reports say it's got one of the highest day supply numbers out of any truck out there. Dealers are already knocking off 15 to 20% off sticker just to try and clear these out. If you're a die-hard Jeep person, sure, this might be worth it to you. But if you're not, there are better options for the same money. Number 9. GMC Sierra 1500. Denali trims. Now, this isn't a quality problem. The truck itself is fine. This is a pricing problem, plain and simple. GMC's whole angle for years has been, we're the fancy version of the Silverado. And under the hood, that's literally true. Same platform, same engines, same bones as a Chevy Silverado, but GMC charges a serious premium for that badge, especially once you get into Denali and Denali Ultimate trims. We're talking $70,000, $80,000, even $90,000 trucks now. And people are starting to ask the obvious question, is a Sierra Denali really worth 5 to 10 grand more than a fully loaded Silverado High Country? Because functionally, it's basically the same truck. The market's answering that question with a no. Dealers say the basic Sierras still sell fine. It's these high-profit Denali trims that are stacking up on the lot. GMC built this pricing strategy for like 2022, when people were fine paying crazy markups. That's just not where we are anymore. My advice, wait on this one. Bigger incentives are coming, trust me. Number 8. GMC Hummer EV. 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. It can literally crab walk sideways. It's an incredible piece of engineering, honestly. But once the whoa, look at that factor wears off, people start asking practical questions. And that's where it falls apart. Sticker price is well over $100,000. This isn't a truck. It's a toy for people with a lot of money. It's also massive, which means it's a nightmare to park and probably won't even fit in a lot of garages. For something marketed as green tech, the efficiency is honestly pretty bad. And if you try towing anything with it, range drops fast, like really fast. Reliability's a concern too. It's heavy, it's complicated, and it's new, which is basically a recipe for expensive problems down the road. J.D. Power actually gave the 2025 model a quality score of just 65 out of 100. That's rough. Verdict here, just avoid it. Number 7. Hyundai Santa Cruz. It looks good. It's comfortable. It drives more like a car than a truck, which makes sense since it's built on the same platform as the Hyundai Tucson. But that's also exactly the problem. It's a truck for people who don't really want a truck, and the market already picked a winner in that lane. The Ford Maverick came in and just took over completely. In 2025 alone, the Maverick outsold the Santa Cruz 6 to 1. 6 to 1. That's not close. Why? Price and practicality, basically. The Maverick's got a hybrid option that saves gas in a way the Santa Cruz just can't match, and it starts cheaper too. So if you want truck-like usefulness without full-size truck money, Maverick's the obvious pick. And now there's talk that Hyundai might actually wind this thing down, which means dealers could be sitting on a shrinking niche vehicle that might not stick around much longer. Bottom line, walk away unless the deal is genuinely aggressive. And even then, you're kind of buying into something that already lost. Number 6. Ford Super Duty luxury trims. Because normally you'd think a Super Duty, those always sell, and the basic work truck versions absolutely do. This is about the King Ranch, Platinum, and Limited trims, the ones where Ford basically turned a heavy-duty work truck into a status symbol. And for a long time, that strategy worked great. People paid up for it. But with the 2026 lineup, Ford pushed prices into genuinely wild territory. $90,000, $100,000, even more. And now with interest rates where they are, plus people just being tired of the constant price creep, buyers are pushing back hard. Makes sense, right? A six-figure truck that's supposed to be a work tool doesn't really make sense for most families or businesses anymore. So now you've got this weird pileup of expensive Super Duty trims just sitting on lots, while the basic XL and XLT work trims, the ones people actually need, are harder to find. My take, skip the top trims unless the discount is huge. Ford really overplayed this one, and there's been some tech-related recalls on the expensive models too, which isn't helping their case at all. Number 5. Nissan Titan. Now, Nissan stopped making the Titan after the 2024 model year. That's done. Over. But here's the wild part. It's 2026, and dealers are still sitting on brand new, zero-mile 2024 Titans, trying to move them. 2 years later, even before Nissan pulled the plug, the Titan was kind of stuck in this weird in-between spot. It didn't have the endless configurations that Ford, Chevy, GMC, or Ram offered, and it never built the loyal following that Toyota has either. So buyers were always asking, why get a Titan when a newer, more popular truck costs basically the same? The V8 drank gas, the interior felt old, resale value was already weak before it even got discontinued. So now these leftover Titans are basically orphans, and dealers are cutting prices hard to unload them. And look, at first glance, the deal looks tempting. Brand new V8, full factory warranty, big discount. But here's the trap. You're buying a dead-end model and resale is probably just going to keep sinking. Only makes sense if you're planning to drive it till the wheels literally fall off. Number 4. Chevrolet Silverado EV. I mean, it's the electric version of one of the most iconic trucks in America. Should be an easy win. Instead, it's just sitting there while buyers hesitate. First issue is price. Early models are landing near $75,000, which right away puts it out of reach for a lot of regular truck buyers. But I think the bigger issue is trust. This thing shares almost nothing with the gas Silverado people already know. It's built on GM's new Ultium platform, where the battery's actually part of the vehicle's structure. Totally different architecture. It's not a traditional body-on-frame truck, so it just doesn't feel like a real Silverado to a lot of people. And then there's the styling. Instead of looking like a tougher, evolved version of the classic truck, it looks strange, futuristic, kind of polarizing, honestly. So you've got Silverado buyers being asked to pay a big premium for something that looks unfamiliar, feels unfamiliar, and runs on tech a lot of them still don't fully trust. EV sales overall have grown, sure, but the electric pickup space specifically has cooled off. My advice, wait. It might genuinely be a capable truck, but GM hasn't won over its core audience yet. Better deals are probably coming. Number 3. Ford F-150 Lightning. When this launched, it was a huge deal. Everybody was talking about it. But by 2026, totally different story. Demand's dropped hard and lots are filling up with unsold trucks. So what happened here? The first wave of buyers were early adopters, people who wanted to be first. That group already bought in. Now Ford's got to convince regular traditional truck buyers, and that's a much tougher sell. Because those buyers are asking real questions. Price, range, charging. Can this thing actually handle real work? And the Lightning still costs noticeably more than a comparable gas F-150, especially after a few price hikes. Towing's the big one though. If you actually pull trailers for a living or for fun, your range can drop dramatically under load. For a lot of truck owners, that's just a deal breaker. Ford's already cut production to match the softer demand, and a lot of dealers now have way too much Lightning sitting around, so incentives are getting more aggressive. Here's my honest take. This could actually be a great deal, but only for the right person. Short commute, home charging. Don't tow long distances much? It could work great for you. But if you're a traditional truck user who needs to tow and haul regularly, the compromises are still too big right now. Number 2. Tesla Cybertruck. This is probably the most talked about, most controversial truck on the road right now. Now that it's out of the social media hype phase and into actual, real-world ownership, the wild design is running into some real problems. On one hand, yeah, it turns heads everywhere. Can't deny that. But the list of complaints is getting long. Build quality's a big one. That stainless steel body was supposed to be the big selling point, but owners are reporting panel gaps, weird fitment issues, even rust spots showing up on brand new trucks. That's rough. Then there's the recalls. And these aren't small ones. There's been a recall for an accelerator pedal cover that could actually get stuck and trap the pedal at full throttle. There's been exterior trim pieces that could detach while you're driving on the highway. And there's been an issue where rough roads could potentially cause wheel studs to separate from the hub. I mean, come on. On top of all that, the design itself creates real everyday problems. It's huge, it's awkward to live with, it's polarizing, and it costs way more than what was originally promised. Honest verdict, avoid it for now. This feels like a first-generation product with real, documented problems. Basically a public beta test, except people are paying full price to be the test subjects. And before I get to number 1, if this is helpful so far, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, whatever you do. Helps a ton. Okay, let's finish this off. Number 1, the $80,000 work truck. I'm talking about the fully loaded, top-of-the-line, do-everything pickups that basically every single brand is pushing on you right now. Ford F-150 Platinum, Ram 1500 Limited, GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. Different names, different badges, same exact problem underneath. These are trucks stuffed with luxury features that most working buyers never even asked for, at prices most Americans genuinely cannot afford. For years, automakers figured out they could juice their profit margins by turning honest work trucks into these rolling luxury suites. Massaging seats, giant screens, panoramic roofs, endless tech packages. And when interest rates were low, it kind of masked the real problem. People stretched their budgets. Payments got bigger and bigger. Dealers kept ordering more of them. But in 2026, that whole strategy is falling apart. With interest rates where they are now, plus everything just feeling uncertain economically, people are looking at $1,200 a month truck payments and just walking away. And honestly, I don't blame them. This isn't about one bad engine or one recall anymore. This is about the entire value of what a modern truck's even supposed to be. People need trucks they can actually afford to use, not luxury vehicles pretending to be work tools. So now you've got these high-end trims piling up everywhere, while the affordable base and mid-trim trucks are actually hard to find. Kind of backwards, right? My advice, be really careful with deals on these overpriced trims. A $10,000 discount on a $90,000 truck can still absolutely be a trap. Do the math before you get excited. Automakers kind of forgot what trucks are actually supposed to be for, and now we're seeing the result. Empty lots full of unsold inventory and a lot of frustrated buyers. From engines failing to prices that just don't make sense anymore, the message is pretty clear. People have had enough. But look, if you're smart about it, this is actually a good time to buy. Just know exactly what you're getting into and question every single deal someone tries to hand you. Alright, that's it for this one. If you got something out of it, smash that like button, subscribe for more truck talk, and I'll catch you in the next video.